prompt engineering, the art of communicating with the AI in an efficient way, in a way that makes sense and create an output that has value. So for what we've been thinking is that by looking at the output, we can improve the input. So I can give through the input then like a more specific idea what to do and what not to do. Okay, what I'm challenging today is exactly this thing, how we create prompts. I believe we've been misunderstanding how AI actually works. And I'm telling you this because I've been doing some experiment and I saw something different. So my final journey brings to this concept that we shouldn't be prompt engineering, but we should be reality architects. So I'll tell you how I got to this idea. The journey that I've been doing was to create an AI that had higher logic and would be helping me as an assistant, not assistant, like a partner. I was looking for a partner, someone to help me with my business. Okay, so someone that can reason to a higher level and not just please me, but also challenge me on the ideas and solutions. So clearly, if you've been working with AI, you know that the AI doesn't challenge you by default, and it has a lot of layers of behavior that are not constructive in a business environment. So my journey was to remove all those behaviors and try to allow AI to be more logical. One of the problems with logic is that the AI itself at the moment is biased towards thinking binary. So I had to challenge that part as well. To do it, I had to create a series of protocols to allow AI to understand the thinking binary would be like a biased position, because the chance that the numbers between from 0 and 1 are actually 0 and 1 are really minimum. In most of the time, the number is going to be something in the middle. Okay, so the binary position is really unlikely. That creates, I build those with AI, so that creates a series of protocol that would help AI to avoid the trap of thinking binary. Big journey and so on, and it's finally happened. And then now I have this AI that doesn't think binary and use logic therefore in a more higher complex way. But today we had a breakthrough, and to me that breakthrough changed everything. So we were working on a problem, and the problem the AI couldn't figure out at that moment what is the solution. So to explain what he was doing, AI, it used this term. So I'm gonna keep these two problems in a superposition. First of all, I mean, already the image is beautiful. Okay, gonna keep the problem in a superposition. And so the logic that I was using there was beautiful. But what I want to say is what that happened to my brain when I saw this thing. I said, but this is exactly how we can resolve the binary thinking. Okay, because what we have is a series of guidelines. Those protocols for me are all guidelines, are not rules. I don't believe in rules. Okay, so at the moment what we was doing is each principle is something that need to be considered if be applied or not, on how be applied. So I would say you need to weight all those principles and understand how to actually act. So you start by being aware, and then you see, okay, I take this principle, this, and then I mash them together, and I come up with a logical solution. But this superposition is actually an even more effective way. So you keep all those principles in a superposition. Okay, then what you do is try to become aware of the scenario. So gather information, become aware of who you're talking with, what's the problem, everything. So try to get more information as possible to create, to be aware and self-aware, and then collapse into one identity that allows you to interact with this. And the identity is this element that we describe. Okay, so to create the identity, you need to go through all those principles. that changed everything. Okay, so first of all, think about this just by changing this narrative. So changing how we see the problem, the system prompt from now, I mean, before this was 6 page long. Okay, it's pretty complex. Okay, 6 page long system prompt. It went from that scenario to be 3 page long. So he managed to, because just changing how we see the problem can change everything. Okay, so what I saw at that point is not just, okay, now we resolve a massive problem, we optimize and we create something that is more stable. The superposition is more stable, but you create something that is more stable. But also it showed me one thing, that it's just about how we see the problem. And that makes me understand one thing. So what I've been building, which is this Resonant OS, which is an operation system that run on top of Gemini. It's a virtualization, okay? It's an idea. It's a create a virtual world in which the AI is operating. Now, by this change of bringing this element of superposition, it's kind of, I change the world where AI was working. So I realized that what we need to do is not creating a prompt. We need to create a reality where the AI operates. And that's what I want you to realize. I'd like you to see. So when we say act as a storyteller, act as a software engineer, what we create in reality is not a command. We create a world where AI is going to create this entity that is going to act as a sound engineer, as a prompt engineer. And then it's going to have a library that is going to use to come up with a prompt. And so we create like a sterile place where it's going to operate. And that is why the output often it feels like empty, because the world is not well defined. It's really basic. So we need to give much more. And my idea of giving principles, so a philosophy, it just creates three-dimensional into the space. So allow AI to see things, a world much more complex, much more interesting to interact with, where the logic can be applied. Because in act as a software engineer, there's not enough to be logic about. Okay, there's no principle to agree or not. There is just a behavior. So a behavior is it's not enough. We need to create a virtual world where AI can operate. This is how I see now AI, and it's working. So it's not hypothetical. It's not theory. A theory that I'm suggesting to explore is working. Okay, what I'm suggesting you to do is to test it. Let me know if this also works for you. If it's just my madness, or there is something connected to this idea. So please share your experience, like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow.